Welcome to the Health Revolution, the program that shows you how to have a life of vibrant well-being. In a world full of noisy health trends, we bring you clarity. We reveal the science-backed strategies that truly work in a sea of fads. We explore the physical strength, emotional resilience, and mental mastery. These are the keys to an enriched life. Join us for inspiring interviews with champions who've conquered life's health challenges. Are you ready to unlock your potential to live with vitality and purpose? Then join the Health Revolution. I'm your host, Adriana Morrison, health and fitness expert, speaker, and a mom who understands. Let's embark on this transformative quest. Together, we're about to change the game, starting now. The information provided in this show is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Viewers should use their own discretion and consult with a healthcare professional for personalized guidance and recommendations. Welcome, everybody. You are watching the Health Revolution, and we are extremely excited that you are joining us today. I'm your host, Adriana Morrison, and no matter which way you're tuning into us, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button because we want to stay connected to you. Also, at the bottom of your screen, there's a tab for show episode notes. Be mindful of that. We've got some important notes about today's episode. Now, of course, you know that our show is all about the physical strength of the body, elevating that, the emotional resilience, and how we embrace the mental mastery. And today we're going to tackle the mental mastery part. We're going to talk about how we are unlocking ourselves. We're breaking free from limiting beliefs and embracing empowerment. Oftentimes, no matter where we are in life, that is the one thing that holds us back, whether we have a setback, life throws us a curveball, and then how do we keep going without backsliding? So we're going to dig into this and in different applicable areas of our lives, what the solutions are so that way we can elevate to a higher level of success. And my guest today is somebody who is well-versed in this. I'm excited for you to meet her. First, watch this. Meet Natasha Rosie, a powerhouse health and mindset coach who's on a mission to help women unlock their best selves. As a Shetty certified coach and Red Seal chef, Natasha is passionate about transforming lives through nutrition, fitness, and mindset. With her infectious energy, she empowers women to break free from self-doubt, crushing limiting beliefs, and embracing their true potential. Her coaching goes beyond the physical, diving deep into soul awakening work that helps women find their purpose and live with unshakable confidence. Today, we'll dive into Natasha's bold and transformative approach to creating a life filled with joy, freedom, and empowerment. Natasha Rosie, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm excited to talk to you today. You know, health and mindset, it seems to be, or so it appears to be, a buzz phrase, but it's deeper than that. And obviously, this has been an area where we've needed to put some huge emphasis on over the course of time in society. We have a lot of benefit by doing so. What truly got you into becoming a health and mindset coach?
My own story. It's true. Like, it feels like it's trending right now. I feel like everyone's just on this sort of health and mindset path, but it is more sort of specific to my story of having to overcome depression, and I know it's very common, and anxiety. And at a very young age of 19, getting hit hard with depression and turning my back on my dream at the time of being an actress. I had moved out to Vancouver from Alberta in Canada, and I was, seeking out acting school, and I was ready to go. And I was just hit hard with this question, this really tough question of, what is the point of this if we're all just going to die? It's dark, but it's common. I remember I was on the phone with my parents, and my dad said, yeah, I remember having weird thoughts like that too when I was a little bit older than you. And so this set me on a dark path that after about 20 years, I crawled out of and overcame with many, many hurdles and lots of tools.
Why do you think we struggle so much in life with those questions, the why are we here and what are we supposed to do? Obviously, we may not have the answers right in front of us, and it may not be, so obvious that there's some navigation we have to do as, in society. Why is it so hard?
I think a lot of it is just what we're absorbing when we're really little. We're born into the world as sponges, and we don't really have any control over what we're constantly downloading through society and our family and just the way of life. And there's no right or wrong. It's transforming us into who we are. And so I think at a young age we're already a little bit lost because we're steered away from who we're naturally born to be. And so life is basically about getting back to the person that you were born to be.
Have you always been ambitious and optimistic when you emerged into adulthood? Did you mentioned that you wanted to become an actress
Mm.
as you were growing up. And then obviously there was a trajectory point that things took a turn. Were you always ambitious, and did you always know the things that you wanted to do?
No, not at all. I definitely had a lot of low moments. I felt like the whole world was moving on and I sort of just wasn't. All my friends went to college right after high school, which is what you do. And I didn't. I was waiting tables and saving tips, and I was just a free spirit traveling around trying to find myself. Um, so, yeah.
Do you feel like that was the trying to find yourself, that was a healthy approach to do, or did you feel like that there was some stress along the way that just put you in a position of, okay, at some point I've got to figure this out. I've got to put me in a certain position.
I think at the time I felt lesser of a person because I wasn't following the mainstream. But looking back now, I am so glad that I did it that way because I had so many amazing experiences, not the typical university, you graduate and you have all this debt and most people don't even really love the jobs that they want. And because I have that sort of artistic side to me, it just made sense. It just made sense to have those experiences and just explore.
Did health always come first for you?
I mean, both my parents were always active, physically active. So I've always been physically active. And yeah, it's sort of always been at the back of my mind. I'm sort of obsessed with, the latest trend or whatever for the last 10 or 15 years. I'm always like, juicing or whatever was trending. I think for a while there, fat wasn't cool. For a while, tried that, and but I've always been trying to feel my best with food and exercise.
So a lot of the credentials that you have shows that you put thought and study into getting those receipts. So Jay Shetty certified and being Red Seal chef. At what point in time did you know that you needed to tap into those assets to then move the needle forward, either with you or with those that you're working with?
Well, the chef thing kind of came along during my exploration at a young age. I've always just been obsessed with food in a really healthy way. Everything about food excites me. So I discovered that and went down that path. And I think in my mind, I was going to travel the world as a chef. But then I met my now husband and had a child. And for a lot of moms, we know how that goes. So things were kind of set aside for a bit. And I was at home with my baby. And we had decided that we didn't want to do daycare or anything like that. And we had moved to a very small town and I was quite isolated. And this is when I was quite down. And this was a pivotal moment for me because I wasn't helping anybody. I wasn't living my purpose. I wasn't excited to get out of bed in the morning, and something just switched in me. And so I got into network marketing, which was really good for me because it was health and wellness based, which then led me to personal development, which then led me to Audible books, which then led me to Jay Shetty. And so he really was a really huge pivotal moment for me of purpose because now I could help myself while helping other people.
I love how you shared that the transition, growing your family, getting married, having a child, that those were things that happened to be a part of your journey. And I know oftentimes that women, we just kind of get lost in the sauce sometimes. And I remember my first marriage, once my kids were being born that I just felt like I kind of got lost along the way.
Yeah.
How did you know back then that you still needed to put emphasis on you, or was it just that challenge in your life, that big chapter where you had yet to figure that part out?
I think it was definitely on me because I was the one that was isolated and on my own and miserable, quite miserable to be honest. And I feel a little shame saying that, but I know it's common and I know it's helpful to other people. When I was literally in bed watching daytime TV, it was such a waste of life. It wasn't helping anybody or anything. And so I don't know, I recently have taken sort of a spiritual approach to things. So looking back then, my daughter was, just born, so it was about 10 years ago. I think that something or someone was kicking my butt and saying, you need to do something for you, because you're not going to be of service to anyone and your family, if you're just so miserable inside.
What do you think it was that was the kick in the pants?
I felt like I was wasting my life and wasting my youth. And I don't know. I don't know what exactly it was, but I'm so grateful that it happened. And I'm very proud of where I am now.
So what was the turning point for you where you came to the conclusion that this cannot be anymore? What was it for you that was the light bulb moment, or the moment that you knew that it was time to take action, and that you followed through?
When I started diving into personal development, and so like listening to audible books and podcasts and reading and just really getting outside and enjoying nature and stuff like that, I started to feel better. There was signs of me feeling better and looking better and acting better. And so I think those were evidence that I was heading in the right direction. And I was fortunate enough to come across the Shetty certification program to become a life coach. And this was like absolutely 100%, I need to do this. And I was so excited. I'd never been so excited for school in my life.
So what vision did you have at that point, and who did you start working with?
I had a purpose all of a sudden. Like I had been living so long with not really much of a reason to get out of bed, but I had a purpose and there was an end goal that was achievable and realistic to me. That I could actually make an income, have my own business, be an entrepreneur, and help so many people because it's online. Like I have access to the world with Zoom, which is where I work with most of my clients. So it was amazing. It was amazing.
And what are some things that you're discovering along the way, some of the trends that are happening that maybe we're not paying attention to, or things that we need to be on the lookout because they become barriers to us being able to continue to grow?
Oh my gosh, our voices. You
Okay.
you have to speak to yourself nicer. Um, I've developed this little thing that works for me. It's kind of along the lines of Mel Robbins has a 5-second rule, when you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you get out of bed or you do the thing that you need to do. For me, when those negative thoughts start coming in, and I know we all have them, I say, shh, like as if you're in a movie theater and you're trying to watch this movie and people are talking and you're feeling annoyed and someone's just like, shh, I shush those thoughts away because those thoughts are like the beginning of you going down a negative spiral, and not achieving the things that are good for you. And people are scared of rejection. People are scared of failure, and they get comfortable in where they are, even though it's not necessarily the best choice for them. So listen to those thoughts because you are in control of them.
And I love how you're putting a physical example into things where it's similar to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but
Yeah.
it's a physical reminder that it's almost like jolting the body or jolting the soul into paying attention and waking up.
Yeah, like the angry mom, shh, like put some emphasis behind it, when it's like, well, I could go exercise, but no, shh. Or, when you have that imposter syndrome creeping in, when you're pursuing something, you don't feel like you have the right to be there, or nobody's going to take you seriously, or whatever you're saying sounds dumb. Shush it away. It's called the shush effect. It works. And just make it a habit and replace it with something positive. Like, you have every right to do what makes you happy, as long as you are honestly feeling it in your soul and your heart and your gut, and this is happy, like it makes you thrive. Then do it. Then go do it.
Did you feel motivated to do this, or was this a decision that you came to?
The Jay Shetty.
No, the just being mindful, just choosing to break these habits, to choose to not be in a lull. Was this something that you were motivated, like, I can't do this anymore? Or did you feel like, you know what, I've come to a decision that things have to change?
um yeah, I think I made that choice when I found the certification. And again, like when I was doing the personal development, I definitely have my days though. Like, I have my days where I don't want to do anything, but creating those habits is what helps me keep consistent with it. But I think it was a very pivotal moment, like sort of that moment of, I need to have a purpose and I need to help people, because, laying in bed watching daytime TV is not helping anybody. So, definitely motivation probably was my daughter being born. I mean, I'm responsible for someone else's life, not just my own. So that's pretty empowering. Yeah.
How do you define empowerment?
How do I define empowerment? It's kind of like when you tap into your higher self and you feel this confidence and this heat within your heart. A lot of this I've discovered with meditation, and I know that's trending right now, but oh my gosh, it's so, so crucial. And you don't need a perfect space and a perfect pillow and the perfect melody in 7 hours. Like, you can meditate for 10 minutes, you can meditate for 5 minutes, taking that time to just be with yourself and breathe and calm and shush away those thoughts and just go within. But so the higher self is just having that confidence and knowing that what you're doing every day just makes you feel good, and you feel this just like warmth in your heart, and you're excited and you're joyful and you celebrate daily, and knowing that you are making a difference in the world is very empowering.
What was the first example of an experience that you had where you knew things were different?
Probably, so when I was going through the certification program, I had some practice clients, and I was very fortunate to have some volunteers within my circle, and really noticing that the work that I'd been doing was was helping people. Like, I could see light bulbs go off in my practice clients' heads, and having realizations and excitement that they could make changes and they could pivot, and seeing that was so rewarding. Like, I would get off a call with a client and just be so energized and fulfilled, and it's like, wow, this is addictive. Just seeing the evidence that people were getting something out of what I was putting in.
And, we have a lot to cover. I definitely want to go into the health and mindset piece and some of the practical steps of defining the levels of empowerment. First, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to do just that. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Hey, it's Adriana, and welcome back to Fit Bites. Today, let's talk about the importance of bone density testing, especially as we age. Now, as we get older, our bones naturally lose density, which can increase the risk of fractures and conditions like osteoporosis. A bone density test is a simple, painless way to measure the strength of your bones. Now, it helps detect if you're at risk for osteoporosis long before a fracture happens. Now, this test is especially important for women over the age of 50, like myself, as hormonal changes during menopause can accelerate bone loss. Now, early detection through bone density testing allows you to take action. So whether it's through lifestyle changes, medication, or supplements like calcium and vitamin D, you can strengthen your bones and reduce the risk of fractures. If you're at higher risk due to age, family history, or certain medical conditions, talk to your doctor about scheduling a bone density test. It's a crucial step in keeping your bones strong and your body active. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to your health. Stay proactive and stay strong. And stay tuned for more Fit Bites with Adriana. Welcome back to the Health Revolution. Today, we're talking about unlocking your best self and embracing the empowerment and breaking free from limiting beliefs. And our guest today is health and mindset coach, Natasha Rosie. And before the break, we were talking about the understanding trajectories and really understanding the levels of empowerment that are part of this journey to create a new level of self. And I want to dive into that, the health and mindset. How often or how crucial is it that they go hand in hand? For example, is it important to have self-love, or how crucial is self-love to someone transforming their life?
So crucial. I often say that I'm a selfish mom and that I do put myself first and sometimes feel bad about it, but I have two young girls that are watching me, so when it's like, hey, mom's meditating and they're like, okay, cool. And they won't bother me. I'll shut my door and they'll give me my time. And they know that when mom comes out, she's going to be a lot calmer and a lot happier. But exercise is therapy. Like, it's so much more than just moving your body. It's so good for your brain. And if you do struggle with depression and anxiety, exercise is going to be your best friend. And just choose something that makes you happy. Don't force yourself into these, 2-hour boot camps if that's not your style. Pick something that you love, and then you're going to be excited to keep it consistent.
So you bring up a good point about when you use the example of having time for meditation and being clear on those boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And so oftentimes oftentimes we get frustrated with maybe things are not going our way. And sometimes the level of emotions that we're experiencing can be overwhelming to where it feels like we have no control.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to ask you, what role does emotional stability play in someone embracing the type of mindset that will push them to grow?
If I don't meditate, I can tell that my patience is not as good as it could be. It's so crucial. And it's just like building a habit. It's like you make your coffee in the morning, you brush your teeth in the morning. Once you start doing it every day, you're going to notice how you feel better. You're going to notice the results. You're going to notice how you might respond to somebody instead of reacting to somebody. You're going to notice taking a step back and taking a breath if you feel yourself, getting upset or annoyed or vulnerable. And you're not going to waste your energy on the little things throughout the day that normally would take you down, like somebody cutting you off in traffic or your kid having a tantrum. Those things just won't bother you as much, and you're going to have more energy towards what really matters throughout your day.
So if someone is really struggling emotionally, that say someone who's part of our viewing audience is like, well, they're saying, I'm just having such a rough time. I feel like I have no control. My emotions are just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Where does someone like them, that example, begin? Do they address the emotions, or in spite of the emotions, we just go beyond and try to dig? Which would be important to address first?
First of all, give yourself some grace because we're human and we all have these emotions and they all get out of control. So give yourself some grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's one thing I definitely address with clients is when they're talking negatively to themselves and not giving themselves the grace. Um, Sorry, I totally lost track of what was the question?
So, where does somebody start to, if they're really struggling emotionally and they, and they're having a tough time and they feel like the emotions are just all over the place? Do they address the emotions first to then create stability, or would you see there being a benefit to go past it, even though it's happening, to get to the source? What would be a good tactic to start?
I mean, yeah, being aware of the emotions is definitely a good start. But the emotions are always going to be there. Going to the source is definitely a good start. Um, I mean, it's different for everybody, right? Like for me, it's usually I find that my anxiety comes out in anger and it just comes out because I feel sort of out of control, and everybody's is a little different. And acknowledging that this is part of who I am and acknowledging that there are resources that you can utilize in your own home that are going to help you to address where they are coming from.
So oftentimes if emotions are all over the place, then it's an indicator that somebody feels that they have no control over their surroundings or circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Then what if someone's watching and they think, well, easier said than done. I have no control. Like, look at all the things life is lifing, and things are happening to me, and one thing after another. I don't know where to start. How do you then create the space to
Yeah.
start the work?
I mean, people need to sit down and make a list. And I know that sounds whatever, but like sit down and make a list and start delegating things. For example, people are so busy and they're taking on too much. For example, I spend some money on someone helping me clean the house a couple times a week, or delegating within your family or friends, or reaching out for help to help you juggle your busy schedule. But making a safe space in your home or in your life somewhere that you can go, that you can just decompress and be with yourself. And that can be, for me, my bedroom, I've got a reading chair. I love to snuggle in that chair and I will just read, or I'll just sit and meditate, going outside for a walk. Like, we have so many free tools around us, and just reaching out and asking for help is totally okay.
So obviously and I keep coming back to emotions just because oftentimes we can, when something hits the news, like local news, for example, usually a situation occurs, accident, or you have an altercation or things, and it has everything to do with emotions, or sometimes there's a knee jerk response. What are some trends that you are seeing, either in your area, um, men, women, older, younger? What are some things that you're noticing that, like, we're having a harder time with?
I don't watch the news. My husband and I have this argument all the time because he's like, "Well, I want to be, informed on what's going on in the world," and I'm like, "I feel like if it's important enough, I'll know." But I find that the news is just it's very fear-mongering, and there's so much good that is actually happening in the world that needs to be put on the news so that people feel happy instead of fearful when they're done watching the news. I make it very like I have a very strategic social media settings where I only see things that bring joy to my life or that are going to educate me about things that are beneficial to me or to the world. And so you have to be very careful with the news and not take it on, because these things that are happening in the world, sadly, a lot of it is out of our control, and you cannot waste your energy on things that are out of your control. And that's why when you find something in your life that brings you purpose, you're going to be able to have this shield to sort of protect you against the negativity that is coursing through the world, sadly, because you have your purpose, which is bringing you joy and helping the world in whichever way that might be for you.
So the health piece behind the health and mindset going hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Define what that looks like, optimal health, and what are some of your favorite ways to start unpacking it and start addressing it with someone who might be struggling with their health?
Um, that one I definitely have to approach one step at a time, because for me, I've been building these health tools for so long. But start with one, for example, mineralized water. Like a lot of the water we drink is so highly filtered, you're not even getting those natural minerals that your body is craving. People are getting all these powders and supplements to add to their water, but really you just need like a properly mineralized water to properly balance your body. So, just simple things like that. But I am a big advocate of protein and vegetables and fruits, and food is so important, and it's such a struggle right now. And especially as a mom, you constantly feel like you're reading labels, and I worry about the health of our kids. There's the processed foods is insane, but I do feel like I'm starting to see a bit of a change, and it's people like you and I that are bringing a voice to how eating doesn't need to be so stressful, and how it can be easy, and how it can be fun, and how it can be delicious. So I love cooking with my kids at home and showing them how to eat healthy, and it really shouldn't be so stressful. But clean water, clean food within reason. We still have our pizza and stuff like that now and then, and that's okay. Like, don't feel bad about that. You're human. So yeah, like healthy water, healthy food, and again, those negative thoughts, you got to control those, because that's a big one.
One thing that we have, I know you're in Canada. Here in the
Mhm.
United States, I came across a statistic that it was more of a prediction, and that it said that by the year 2035, it is predicted that the US adult population will reach 50% obesity, which is beyond scary to me.
Mhm.
And yet we still have a chance to get proactive as a society. What do you see in over there across the border? Are you seeing the same trends? Are you noticing that society is struggling, that the health piece is just adding such a huge piece to the entire puzzle of why the health and mindset is something that we still need to learn how to tackle?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wouldn't say it's everywhere. There's definitely parts of the world that sort of seem to have their ducks in a row when it comes to nutrition and stuff like that. But Canada, yeah, we definitely struggle as well. I do find, though, in the warmer parts of Canada that people just seem to be healthier. Like, I recently moved from Alberta to British Columbia, and Alberta gets down to like minus 40 Celsius in the winters, like minus 30. And British Columbia, like where I'm living right now, is wine country. Like, it's sunny and warmer. The climate is a lot milder, and I see like seniors swimming in the lake at like 8 o'clock in the morning, whereas you wouldn't see that in Alberta. Like, they're probably still in bed, eating breakfast. So I definitely feel like where you live helps to shape that, because people are just more physically active naturally, depending on the climate. But it's definitely an issue. But again, I feel like I'm seeing changes. I feel like there's going to be maybe I'm just hopeful, but maybe there's going to be a huge pivotal, moment where people just want to be healthier. People just want to feel better. More people are living off grid and just trying to escape sort of like the toxic sides of the world that we're trying to avoid. But yeah, we definitely struggle in Canada as well.
In the case of women that you've worked with, and then just being around other women, what are some of your biggest concerns that you see that maybe they don't, or that they've not verbalized yet? What are some health and mindset related conditions that you see that maybe they don't?
I think a lot of it is self belief, honestly, or people feel like it's too late. It's too late for me. What's the point now? Or they feel like they're just so far gone that there's no way that they can get back. And so a lot of it is that self-belief and that self-love that they do really need to start within and give themselves that empowerment and that love, that it's not too late. And it's hard though. It's hard. It's not easy. I've had struggles with my own weight too, and I've always been like a health advocate. And I think that stress is a big part of why people do struggle with their health as well. So it's not just what they're putting in their mouths. It's not just how much they're moving their bodies. It's what they're downloading from the environment and in their own personal struggles and stuff like that. So stress is something that is a huge advocate for, I think, our society's health issues.
And you bring up a good point, because environment, I think of when I hear the word environment, I think of all things that you're directly exposed to. So not just our physical environment of what's immediately around us, but then also the things that we come across, the things that we're absorbing, content and such. And so that does, that does add to the subconscious and then the limiting beliefs.
100%.
And what are some of your favorite best practices to start to break the limiting mindset, to at least just shatter that glass ceiling and start thinking bigger than beyond what somebody used to think?
I mean, who you're surrounding yourself with is a big one. If you are with someone often that you feel is bringing you down, I've had to, eliminate people from my life that when I was going deep in this journey, that I could almost feel their toxicity or their negativity, and I didn't feel like they were adding to my life in any way whatsoever. So, and that's okay. Like you feel like a bad person for excluding people from your life, but if they're bringing you down and if they're stalling your goal of becoming a healthier, happier, better person, who you're surrounding yourself with is so important. So it's important to put up that shield to kind of block people's negativity, because people like to bring you down, sadly, and you have to be cautious for sure.
I think it's also important to point out that sometimes it might be those within the innermost circles.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree that it could even include relatives? That if say the situation of somebody being extremely toxic that you're related to, and it's over the top extreme negativity, or someone who's been in your life for a very long period of time, maybe not a relative, but a lifelong friend or someone, a close confidant, and somehow they're not thinking the same way, that the cup is more than half empty. And certainly it would be important to speak to that that it's okay to create boundaries, to not let that affect you. Yes?
Absolutely. I think I had a realization that I can't change everybody while I'm changing myself. And the ones that are maybe going to be ready to sort of change with you, they'll just notice that you're changing. They'll notice that your little habits, or your energy is different. Or often I've had people say, your voice sounds different, or you look amazing, or I don't know, just depending on who it is or what it is. But lead by example. You can't force people to do what you're doing because you're pumped about it and you're excited about it. That doesn't mean that everybody around you is going to be excited about it, but all you can do is do what you want to do, and the ones that feel like they want to go down that road with you, they will, and they'll start to make those changes naturally with you.
Absolutely. And coming up after the break, we're going to dive into some of Natasha's best practices on how she works directly with others to create that empowerment, that the shattering those glass ceilings. First, we're going to take a commercial break. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Thank you so much for watching The Health Revolution. Our show is growing, and it's all thanks to viewers like you. No matter how you found us, please hit the subscribe button so we can stay connected and continue to deliver amazing content to you.
Introducing Launchpad, the perfect partner to help you launch your dream project to the world. We know that time is of the essence, and we're here to help you make the most of it. With Launchpad, you'll get access to the most advanced digital tools and strategies to take your idea from a mere concept to a fully fledged success. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned pro, we have everything you need to make your mark in the world. Launchpad, your ultimate launch partner.
We can take our own health into our own hands. Okay, so we'll kind of expand on that. So I take a lot of vitamins every day. Long before I started this business, my wife has had me taking my vitamin C, my B complexes, amino acids every single solitary day, and I still do, even though I still do IVs as well. But when you take vitamins orally, you get 15 to 20% of them. Some people get less because they have autoimmune issues. Some people have a lot of inflammation issues, whatever the case may be, so they don't get the absorption that they need to be getting. So they don't get their immune system built up. Doing the mobile IVs, I'm able to take your immune system, I'm able to naturally boost it.
Welcome back to the Health Revolution. Our guest today, Natasha Rosie, she's a health and mindset coach. We are talking about all things how to unlock your best self and embrace empowerment. And Natasha, I want to go into specifically how you work with others. And I want to talk about the one-on-one coaching program that you have. So as we bring up information about it here on our screen, can you tell us a little bit about some of what you call your breakthrough experience and some of the parameters around it?
So the breakthrough experience is probably my favorite session because I get to let them lead, but they don't realize that they are in control. I think a lot of people come in assuming that I'm going to give them all the answers. But so the breakthrough session, the breakthrough experience is just a one-on-one first call. I offer like 30 to 60 minutes of us just to kind of get to know each other, make sure we have a good energy connection and see if this is going to be a good fit for us to work together, to help that person. It's usually women, but I'm open to men to help that person really unpack where they want to begin, because it's a cobweb of issues in life we have going on. So just helping them narrow down what they want to work on first. And then we sort of make a game plan from there. And then they decide, how long, or we decide how long we think we should work together. And we just kind of take it from there.
So do you have a specific blueprint that you tailor to each person? And then, so it's based on different characteristics such as like time frame and topics, and just how deep that, say, the work goes in unlocking to the next level?
It's pretty colorful, and it's pretty non-structured, and that's just kind of who I am as a person. Because each person is so different, it can take 15 minutes to 60 minutes to figure out exactly what it is that they want to do. And obviously, some people come with a lot more issues than the next person. But yeah, just having a good conversation. And I think it's so nice for people to have someone that's just listening with no judgment, unbiased, completely here, just with my heart open, ready to guide you, where it is you want to go in life.
Who is your program for? Who would best benefit from it?
Well, typically I was aiming for women between the ages of sort of like 30 to 50, but I find that I get the opposite of that. I get like between sort of like 18 to 25, and then it's sort of like the 50, 60-year-old women that tend to come, and often a lot of men do tend to reach out. So at this point, it's kind of all over the place.
So you're seeing trends that where you initially were looking to receive, to work with certain people in a specific range, that other age ranges were just naturally popping up.
Yeah, I figured, I'm a woman, so I could work with women. I have the experience, and but men just seem to be sort of reaching out, and I don't know, maybe I speak a certain way that kind of they hear it in a special way. But men need more, like lots of tools as well. They also are suffering and struggling, and maybe want to reignite a dream or something like that. So, but yeah, the men seem to sort of be trickling in over the last couple of years.
And so it's not just limited to Canada, is that right? So it's
No.
far reaching, so globally. So anyone who, obviously anybody with a Wi-Fi for
Basically. Yeah, like one of my most recent clients was in Korea, which was very, very cool.
Excellent. And then what are some of your favorite topics that you like to dive into just because of the transformative results that a client of yours gets when they are 100% coachable?
Well, they need to be accountable. Like they need to be ready to be accountable. And I think even like before they even meet with me for the first session, there's a form and I have on there that says, are you ready to be accountable? Because you have to be ready to be in charge, to take charge of your life. And then the first step we cover is awareness, is just awareness of who you are, and where we want to go.
What is, or can you share with us a favorite success story of yours? Minus any identifying info. Can you?
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I would say, yeah, I'm trying to be obviously protective of privacy, but one specific client who had a very rough childhood, very, very rough childhood, and is in her mid to late 40s, had little to zero self-belief in herself to do what she wanted to do. And it surprisingly was only about 6 sessions and she just came full circle. It was almost like I didn't believe it, but she came from nothing and now she is pursuing what she wanted to do. She found her confidence, she found her self-belief, and she's doing so good. And yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot longer, but I think that she recognized the light inside of her that, you know, she was born with, and she's doing really good things right now. So very, very, very happy.
What is your favorite way to balance life, your health, and then the level of ambition that you have today? Like, what are some of your best practices that you incorporate in addition to the meditation piece that you spoke of? What are some other things that help create that landscape so that you are where you need to be to the best of your ability?
That's a good question. And I think, you know, I have, like I said, I have 2 kids and I work from home and we have extracurriculars and my husband's gone a lot and we've got pets and we've got a lot of life going on and I'm very grateful for it. But honestly, one of the best things that I do is I go to bed early so that I can get up early and have enough time to do the things that I want to do. Like for some people, they're like, really? Or like, it's for me, I was a night owl for the longest time and I was so stressed out. I never had time to do anything, but I started this whole go to bed early, get up early, and then you have all this extra time that who knew was even there. You have the time to have your coffee. You have the time to do whatever it is that you need to do to set yourself up for the day. And then you're not rushing for the rest of your day. You actually have the time to do the things that matter and the things that need to be done. And you feel like $1 million.
I'll tell you, that's definitely a work in progress over here. So, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're coming right back. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Welcome back to the Health Revolution. Welcome back, everybody. Our guest today, Natasha Rosie, she's a health and mindset coach, and we've been talking about how to unlock your very best self and truly embrace empowerment to take it to the next level. Natasha, where can we find you in the virtual space?
I am on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. I think that's it. Yeah.
Got it. So Natasha _ Rosie, you see that. And then also, what do you have going on for 2024 going into 2025?
Well, during my coaching experience of helping people get back to their dreams, I sort of accidentally got back into my original dream. So I've gotten back into acting. So I'm still taking on clients, but I've enrolled in a theater in town and I got accepted into a play. So I'm practicing lines and taking that to who knows where it's going to go, but it's very exciting. And it's just proof that if you stay on track and fall off a few times and get back up, you can truly do what you want to do. And the fact that I've gotten, I came full circle, I'm evidence that you can too come full circle. So yeah, I mean, being a mom and diving into my dreams of becoming an actress and loving being a life coach.
And truly an example of no limits and coming full circle with the initial dream that you had from years ago. So I know that you have spoken in different spaces as well. Will we continue to hear and come across your voice? And are you lending your voice to different spaces to speak about health and mindset? What does that look like?
Absolutely. Any opportunity I have to speak to help support and inspire anybody it's my purpose. It's my heart's work. So yeah, definitely.
This has been incredible. And Natasha, I know you're in Canada, but it's as though you're right here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I might have to hit you up when the menopause kicks in.
Yes, absolutely, because there's no limits for sure. And so for all our viewing audience, of course, you can find our website is thehealthrevolutiontv.com. There you can subscribe to our newsletter. You can also email us with any show episode ideas that you would love for us to cover. Upper left-hand corner of your screen, you'll find our QR code that you can grab that quickly. And then, of course, as what you've come to depend on, we are on every single week, E360 TV, every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. That is all the time that we have for today. Until next time, take care of yourselves. We will see you soon.